The oh no, now that the camera's here, I need to get the show notes over here now.
All right.
Well, for the longest time, I had the camera over my other monitor, and that's why I kept the notes over there, because then I would stare at that camera when I was reading notes.
That's what So I have the chat room. So I have you guys up on the top. I have the chat room on the right and the notes on the left.
Let's see, now I can go back to doing this little trick where I have the podcast notes over my face so I don't stare at myself and get annoyed. There. And then it looks like I'm engaged in looking at you guys.
Right?
Yep. All
And
right.
Chat room's over here.
Yeah, so the great thing is, like, even if I have, like, Facebook up and your wife is saying what's going on with Xander, why, I have it on the same tab, so, so I'm still looking.
Wait, a wild Scott appears?
Holy crap.
What?
I invited that guy.
I know, exactly.
Oh, wait. He invited,
He invited all of us. When's the next Nerdtacular at Snowbird? Anyway, not that you've heard that a million times. We're just going to go right for it. All right.
Wow, you are super loud, Tats. What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, am
Usually
I eating the
that's
mic
me.
too much? Hang on. All right.
I turned you down.
All right. Is that better?
It is.
All right. We're good. All right. Then apparently
Chewing on the mic.
Yep. I am leading this show. So
You are, my love.
let me make sure I have audio. All right. Here we go. We're going to go live in 5, 4, 3. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to our last show of the year.
Thank goodness. And we have a WoW raid wrap-up.
The winter event and Yuletide starts this week.
Happy Life Day, Captain. Wait.
Dad knows what that one's about. Oh,
Yeah.
we have Seth here to talk to us about AIE and SOTOR.
All that and more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 413 of the podcast celebrating you, the Aliyah Iacta Est gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. This is Tetsemi, and to my right and a couple states over is Mewcow.
Greetings, guildies, from a galaxy right here, because we're all in the same galaxy, right?
Exactly,
Right?
yes.
Right.
Yes. This isn't Ahsoka. We haven't left the galaxy yet. And to my left and upstairs is Makala.
Hey, folks, there are lemon bars, 7-layer bars, a gingerbread cake, and a ton of marshmallows in the guild kitchen. Tet, I am so sorry about the mess. You know what's coming up.
Oh, yeah. I know, especially the marshmallow.
Yep.
However,
That starts tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. This week, we are joined by a very special guest, Stask, who's here to talk to us about AIE in Star Wars The Old Republic. Welcome, Stask.
Hey, thanks. It's great to be here.
All right. Well, as usual, let's go around the room and find out what everyone is up to, and we'll start with our guest. So, Stask, what have you been up to in or out of game?
In game, it's been a lot of SWTOR, surprise. Doing a lot there. I'll cover some of that stuff. Been on the Shea Vizsla server, doing Conquest on Starforge. And out of game, I've been getting busy with work, being one of Santa's little helpers. This time of year, we really picks up delivering Christmas presents to everybody. So,
Absolutely.
a lot of fun, a lot of overtime. Good stuff.
All right. And let's just go around the room. Circle takes a square. McCullough, what have you been up to?
Well, we did a little one-day library con yesterday, hawking jewelry and headbands. Had a pretty successful show. It was a 5-hour show. And we averaged almost $100 an hour, so not bad.
No.
Which then, just goes back into buying fabric and more supplies. Um, Getting ready for my holiday break. Hopefully that means I actually get to take a break, unlike the Thanksgiving one where I worked half the time. And I'm getting ready for like my team holiday party on Tuesday, which happens to be on Krampusnacht. So that I told them I didn't plan it that day on purpose, but you know, if you see a scary dude, just duck. And doing, you know, it's me. I'm doing a lot of the dice rolling. We are in the middle of a pretty epic storyline in our Star Wars game that takes place about 7 years after, or 6 years after Endor. I need to check our time zone. We're about 10. We're about 10 BBY, where we are kind of at very end game stuff. We're dealing with this really heavy called Order of the Dark Star, and they kind of get their power from this dark green crystal that may or may not be part of a long forgotten god. And my character's wife's brother is the leader, so they have been we've been kind of dealing with a lot of that fun family stuff, which is so relevant to Star Wars. And right now we're just trying to get off this planet. And let's see what else. Call of Cthulhu. We're all kind of crazy. Not really. We've kind
Just
of
one of us.
Just one of us. Just one of us. I think we're kind of close to uncovering the plot there of this guy who's either a vampire or wants to be a vampire thrall. And yeah, that stuff's getting nuts. Let's see. I'll let you go over any of the other game and stuff we're doing, but that's what I've been doing primarily in dice rolling.
Nice. What about your D&D game?
Oh, which one?
Yeah, the one I'm not in.
Okay, well, I'm in two, but one we've kind of been on break for a few weeks. My Friday night game. Oh God, what? Because you saw the titles?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
That's what happens when you're in the same Discord for multiple games.
Yeah. So our group, it's a Forgotten Realms game, but a lot of it, you know, the DM really knows Forgotten Realms really well. So he does a lot of really fun, obscure stuff. We'd recently dealt with basically trying to deal with this great evil. We had to go into like this archdruid's mind and dealing with, like, literally for months and months, we've been kind of fighting against his psyche, trying to get him purified. We get done with that. We get out. We get attacked by this crazed dragon that now we have to cure his insanity. So we go to this group of druids. They're going to help us, but it's one of those great, well, you do this for us and then this for this. And it's like one of those great quests where you just keep having to go on and on and on and on. So, we have to get these motes of from the Guardians of the Elements. In the first one, there was a challenge where, you had to go through lava and climb up this tower to get this gem. That one was okay. And then we get to the tree, the guardian of the earth, which is this treant who wants us to get a plant. Multiple challenges, there's riddles, right? There's riddles to be had, survival checks, all of this. But he wanted the plant for a marital aid for him and his dryad wife.
Oh, that's
I was
awesome.
going to ask if he was a Knight of Knee.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so literally there was so many seventh grade sex jokes going on Friday night. I'm like,
now the titles are explained.
Yeah, definitely. Someone smelled of elderberries. It was ridiculous.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, what have you been up to?
Nothing anywhere near as exciting. No. Enjoying the last probably good weather weekend we're gonna have here for a while. It's the one weekend of the year between it being 115 and being 30 degrees. So yeah, we were actually outside and touching grass and doing weird things like that. Went to there's a really nice playground nearby that's just giant, just has tons of weirdly open fields because it's still parts of Texas that hasn't been developed yet. But yeah, other than that, a little bit of gaming. Kind of been actually enjoying a bit of Altitis and WoW. So playing with of all things, kind of like if you remember way back when I discovered Warriors for the first time and just started going crazy with those. So I discovered Demon Hunters and actually went full in on that. And Demon Hunter has replaced my Prot Warrior as my main in raiding.
Nice.
Yes.
Because what I've discovered is Demon Hunters are basically warriors with some of the Druid kit.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
because so you get double leaps, which is amazing. You still get the charge. You basically just don't have, instead of having a shield, you have 2 warglaves.
Right.
Just running around stabbing everything, and you heal yourself better. You have better mitigation. You're tankier, which is just doesn't make sense. I have more armor as this leather wearing Demon Hunter than my plate wearing Prot Warrior does. So I went into this latest raid tier and felt squishy as a warrior. It's like, this doesn't feel right. The next week I went in as a Demon Hunter with less gear and felt tankier. It's like, that doesn't make sense.
Nope.
And so I am just wrecking it, and not to mention I've doubled my DPS
Of
as
course.
a tank.
Yeah.
Doubled.
Well, you went
at
from,
least doubled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
That's crazy.
and yeah, they're so mobile. I can bounce all over the. I thought warrior tanks were mobile, but no.
No.
This
Not compared
I can
to
bounce
DH.
all over the place. Not only do I have 2 leaps, but they recover faster than the 1 leap that the warrior has. I just anyway. Yeah. Other than that, just enjoying running around. The dream has been a lot of fun. It's really easy to gear up, even if you're not raiding. So yeah, that's it's. I have my mindless Warcraft stuff back for a while.
Wonderful.
And spent a little time in Starfield, and I might. Cyberpunk has a new patch coming out, so they are trying really hard to keep me from getting back to BG3. So it's. But,
Did
we'll
you
get back
at
there.
least do the epilogue, or have you not completed?
I haven't gotten back to it to actually even get to Act 3 yet. So, it's that's a ways off. Like I said, so I started playing BG3, then Cyberpunk had its update, and then Starfield came out.
Yes.
And I haven't finished Starfield, so I need to finish Starfield, and then Cyberpunk I'm actually finished with, but they have a new patch coming out with new content, which makes no sense. They're just knocking it out of the park over there.
Yeah. Much like Larian.
Yeah. Those two, I am, those two are going to take the awards this year pretty much everywhere. I think those 2 games together. But oddly enough, Genshin has also been getting a lot of attention. So, but yeah, and next we are going to do a family trip soon. Actually, see people we haven't. I mean, I haven't seen them in probably 5 years.
Nice.
Because of something happened that took about 3 years of time out of whack.
Yeah.
But yeah, gonna go to a place where it's even warmer than here. So that's gonna be interesting.
You come visit us. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, you're next on the list, but
Yay.
but yeah, that's probably enough out of me.
All right.
That leaves Tetsemi.
That.
So what I have been up to is I did finish Baldur's Gate 3, and the patch 5 dropped, and you got the epilogue stuff, and no spoilers. I did have to, essentially you load the last save of the final battle wherever you saved, and then you have to finish the game from there once. Once that's done, you let the credits roll. Once done through the credits, reload that same save, finish the fight again, and then instead of going into the credits, it kicks into the epilogue, and you get to do the 6 months later, here's where everyone's at based on your decisions through the whole game. And you get to see a lot of NPCs, and you get notes, much like in Star Wars. You get notes in the mail. There's a chest of correspondence, and you get notes from a lot of the NPCs that you interacted with. Even if you last saw them like in Act 1, you'll still get you get notes from people and stuff. So I think I had 25 notes at least from NPCs.
Wow.
That's on top of all the all the NPCs the major 6, if you kept them all alive, plus the 3, I call the main 6, and then there's 3 other NPCs that join you in Act 2 and 3 that you can take out as companions as well. They're there. Yeah, so there's and they added something like 3,200 lines worth of additional content just for this epilogue, and voice acted the whole thing. It's nuts, but it really does put a nice cap on the end of the game, and drops significant hints about where the game would go depending on what they're going to do down the road. If they're going to do a DLC / expansion, if they're just going to keep releasing content, from this. But it's like legitimate. No one saw this coming, also didn't know they needed it. And yeah, it's really, really well done. So, because it's one of those things, when you finish the game the first time without the epilogue, you're just like, I wonder where everyone happened. And then Larian's like, oh, by the way, here, free patch. Here's, a whole bunch of additional content. So yeah, I finished that. I'm letting that rest before I start a second playthrough, because I still have to decide what I'm going to do differently, because I got the ending with the NPC endings I wanted for the, for the companions. So now it'll have to be, what do I want to do differently to see a different story ending? So, that'll be fun. And then I've fallen back into Starfield. Starfield is one of those games where there's a lot of tension between you and the user interface. And once you figure out that tension and how to work around it, then the game becomes more playable, at least for me. There's just some weird interface issues and stuff like that kind of drive me crazy, but I'm working around it, and I figured that out. So I don't even know where I am in the storyline, but it's one of it's typical Starfield Bethesda game. You go to do a plot point in the major mission, and it's like, here's all these side quests. I'm like, really? And they're interesting. That's the problem.
Yes.
That's the thing with a Bethesda game. They're always more interesting than the main plot line.
It's always the faction quests that get you.
Yeah. So I'm heavily into those. And then, Mew, have you seen the Fallout trailer?
I have.
Yes.
Looking forward to it.
Yes.
Although Mrs. Mew's comment was, wow, this feels really tense.
I'm like, did you play Fallout?
I said the same thing to her. It's like, you remember playing the game, right?
Yeah.
Considering how much she loves that game.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's easy to get lost, especially if you played Fallout 4. It's easy to get lost in the pristine version of things, and think about that aesthetic.
Right.
And then to remember, oh yeah, by the way, you're fighting for your life.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No,
this place is irradiated. It's not good.
And it really well done, and I loved the suits.
The suits looked good. I'm curious. I want to see more details on how they did those, because there's several cosplay groups out there that have been trying to tackle how to wear the suits all this time. So I'm kind of curious how they do it.
Is it full CGI or is it
exactly?
Or is it practical effects?
Practical effects,
or a combination of both? Because the set of 6 suits, or I think it was 6, marching towards you.
One of them looked like he was bobbing his head and as he was walking around, like having. It's like, how are you moving like that? That doesn't look right.
Exactly. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But That is what
Yeah, everything they showed. Yeah, like there's so many. I mean, sorry to interrupt. I mean,
no.
so many things about that. Like airship. Okay, we need to figure out what's going on there, and of course the suits and the Vault 33. What's the story there?
Right. And are we doing vault on
and
vault action? What are we doing?
Yeah, and that overseer looked interesting, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So.
All right. Well, that is what I have been up to. Oh, and then a couple D&D games were progressing the storylines. Like I said, McCullough said the Call of Cthulhu one's off the rails right now. That's just we're knee deep in.
Well,
oh my god,
there's rails.
Well, yes, because we saved the train camp.
Yes,
And we
okay.
we took care of whatever the evil that was there, so they could actually go back to building the rail. So yes. That part's on the rail.
Okay, so there's rails. Okay.
Yep, exactly. All right. Well, we will be digging into Star Wars shortly, but let's cover this week's news.
AIE News.
And there is not enough time in this podcast to get into all of Star Wars, but
No.
first we'll get into Community, a mandatory fun nights, where the fun is mandatory, but the attendance is not. The schedule may change, of course, especially with the holidays coming. It's going to be all over the place. So make sure you check your game's Discord channels for details on what's going on. Today being Sunday, guess what, guys? You get Sundays off now, so enjoy those. But Monday, we start at 9:30 p.m. Eastern with Guild Wars 2, mandatory fun nights, where they do whatever the group feels like doing at the time. Then a little bit after that, 10 p.m. Eastern, Star Trek Online, another galaxy somewhere else. Our galaxy, technically.
Another
but,
galaxy heard from.
Yep. But then we go back to SWTOR on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, where they get into all kinds of mayhem.
Shenanigans.
Yeah. Or tomfoolery then.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. But if you are looking for mayhem on Wednesdays, Hell Frozen Over Mythic Plus Mayhem in WoW at 8 p.m. Eastern. Then on Thursdays, Board Game Nights, first and third Thursdays usually, is at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. And then Friday isn't as thick as it used to be. Looks like it moved over to Saturdays. Yeah, Friday is ESO, 9 p.m. Eastern. Dan Kinney leading people off cliffs. And then Friday, the Final Fantasy XIV Magical Miscellaneous Tour at 9 p.m. Eastern as well. Saturday is now our action-packed day, starting with Lord of the Rings Online at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And a little bit after that, at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, is Final Fantasy XIV Map Nights. Always a good way to get gold, or gil, as it may be. Then, WoW Classic Hardcore at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Hardcore is real popular, I've noticed. Lots and lots of streams at the very least on Discord, and of course, everyone waiting to see who dies. Mm-hmm. And then, in WoW Retail, we have New Braid, which is going to be... are they already taking their time off? I think they might already be off for
it's in the notes.
Okay, cool. But normally, they would be at 11 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays.
Yep. And McCullough just mentioned the names. The links will be in the show notes, and we're good from there.
Absolutely. Yep, they are. Oh, right. And in streaming and... Oh, got it. All right, so we have a bunch of streaming and guild podcasts. Links are in the show notes. But New Overlords podcast with Max and Seema. We have Behind the Games podcast. Also with Max and Seema, a.k.a. Jeff. Those two combined, didn't they?
They did. Yeah, we got to update the template.
Yeah, we need to update that. We're going to take care of that, guys. Working Class Nerds with Marcus and Nick. Please remember, that is not safe for life. Boards and Swords with Chris and Philip. Dr. Gameology, which is our friend Dr. Daniel Kaufman. STO Fleet Action Report with Greybug and Nicodemus. Podcast Reborn, a Final Fantasy XIV podcast with Brandon, a.k.a. Old Man Franks, Megan, and Roe. Again, not safe for life.
Yep. All right, you take care of the chicken. I'm going to take care of the nomads.
All right.
The Arc Ascended server that Nazra is running, the details are pinned in the Nomads channel. and anyone can feel free to ask there or Nazare for details. We have a handful of people in daily on a private PvE server, and lots of building, taming, and other progress continues. Something about letting dinosaurs go through walls or feeding dinosaurs through walls. You'll have to follow the Discord for the information. It's interesting. It's a bug, but it's hilarious. And in Diablo 4, Season 2 is still ongoing, though another challenge is occurring on December 5th for those who have completed the season journey. The in-game Pinnacle Dungeon, Abattoir of Zir. And there's a link to the announcement in the show notes. And you could stay up to date with changes in Diablo 4 through the dev campfire chats and patch notes links in our patch notes. Reach out in the Diablo Discord channel for clanmates to adventure with. And if for some reason, and I say that oddly, but if you are playing Diablo 2, there is patch content coming for Diablo 2 on December 5th. So take a look there as well. Feel free to discuss that in the Diablo channel. That looks interesting if you're still playing Diablo 2.
Yeah, turns out there's still a lot of interest in Diablo 2.
Yep.
Still a lot of people's favorite game. Of the Diablos, that is. Now, back in WoW, as I was alluding to earlier, New Braid is on break for the holidays. However, during the break, Cylindre, I believe is that how you say that name, and a few other people plan on grouping up on Saturday nights for Mythics or LFR. Probably just however many people they have, they'll do that. New Braid, however, will resume on January 6th, and the plan is to visit Yggdrasil, which by then should be fully unlocked. In fact, I think the last wing unlocks on Tuesday if you want to say hi to Farak in LFR.
So this was the 2-week skip? Because they're skipping.
That's right. They are skipping weeks. Maybe
I think it's the 10th or the 12th.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we have everything but the last 2 bosses, and they are the most difficult bosses really out of all of them. So it makes sense. You can do everything up until the last 2, and then they're giving everybody 2 weeks to get geared up because you're going to need that LFR gear to tackle the last 2.
Yep.
Farak, like my group is a heroic group, and we still haven't gotten normal Farak down yet because he's just that much mechanic wise to figure stuff out. Everything else is just a walk in the park. We walk right through in the first night. Boom, and then we're like, okay, Farak, and then we take the next 2 days just working on him, and it's still, we're getting close, but yeah, he's an interesting one. All right, Kitty Aggro Raid Team defeated 6 bosses in heroic Yggdrasil, so someone's really ahead of things, and their sights are set on Smolderon, which, yeah, he mechanic-wise too is a difficult one. Heck, just getting on the bridge across to him can be fun, but. One wrong move and you're sent off the edge. So enjoy that. The team recently added several new members, including Gusty Tail. That's a familiar name.
Mm-hmm.
So
heard of her. She's fabulous.
And House of Gammon, who will save us, cleared 8 of 9 bosses on normal. So it's a pretty standard setup. You pretty much hit that wall of Farak. Watch out, Farak, though. Farak, as they put here. They're coming for you. The team is looking for more to join them, however, so Tuesday and Thursday nights from 9:30 to 11 p.m. server time. Then on the Alliance side, yes, there is an Alliance side.
Yes.
The aptly named Hellfroze Over cleared normal on their progression team, so Let's Go Skating is running Heroic tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, so good luck to you guys. In fact, no, I guess that happens in... No, that happened half an hour ago.
Right. If you look, there's some late-breaking Alliance news right below there.
Late-breaking news. Update in Alliance news. So Let's Go Skating has down Igara, a.k.a. Britney Spears, Boss 2 on Heroic.
Very nice.
You guys. And as the year winds down, or up, as it says here, we love to see what the guildies are up to. So please share your holiday decorations, activities, food... because, food. And in the Pix or It Didn't Happen channel, which is a great place for all that kind of stuff, or in the WoW Discord if it is, just WoW stuff.
Excellent. I wonder if we should share pictures of our D&D secret Krampus because a lot of those people actually play WoW on AIE. Anyways, but I have to take a picture of Kitty on the floor, don't I?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And in WoW Classic News, Wrath of the Lich King continues to be going great. We did 3 bosses in ICC this week, but last week had us healing...
Valithria.
How I forget words. Valithria. Names, hard. Killing the Blood Council and downing the Blood Queen in one spot. We only had a bit of a time for Sindragosa, but made great strides in the great fight, and Cindy is expected to fall next week, so they can take a look at Arthas. The team remains super excited about Kata, and many of them are dabbling in the grass of SOD.
Which is the Season of Discovery.
Thank you. HC, join us on Defileless Pillager. Go Horde.
That's hardcore.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then Season of Discovery.
Thank you, Season of Discovery. Join us on Lavalash, which I just read as Lavash, Horde and Alliance Oath.
Yes, there are 2 guilds.
Interesting. Yeah, because of the splintering. Like, it's the thing that we were worried would happen has happened. But the thing is it's really popular. You got the hardcore, and you got your Season of Discovery, which is classic with a little bit of a lot of alcohol put into it.
Yeah, I mean, healing mages that they had to nerf 80% because the mages were doing too much healing. Those words should never be in a patch note. Yeah.
But it was also healing the group.
Yep.
So you basically just go through, and while the mage is killing everything, it's also healing the group. No one dies.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi.
All right. And we will be talking about SWTOR shortly. In ESO news, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, starting on Monday, January 15th, 2024, oh Lord, we will be having Tales of the Tribute Tournament number 5. The tournament will run for 5 weeks, and each contestant will play 2 games per week. Sign up for TOTT5. All you need to do is respond to the post in the Tales channel or send a DM in Discord to Kramer29. Signups are now open, and again, the prizes are started $1 million ESO credits for first place and go down from there. They will adjust the prize list if they get more than 6 contestants in. And MFN is currently on the break for the holidays. It will resume on January 5th. However, Kramer and a few other members still group up on Friday nights during the holiday break. During the winter event, feel free to post in Guild Chat or Discord if you need help with the dailies or just want to hang out and chat. They will be doing the Polar Bear Plunge and other Holiday Zone quests.
Over in Final Fantasy XIV, the weekly mandatory fun night, aka Map Night, continues every Saturday at 9:30 Eastern. So if you need some gil, join them for some fun hunting treasure. Of course, we have the holiday event coming up before too long, but otherwise things are pretty quiet over in Final Fantasy XIV land. They're getting ready for the January FanFest in Japan. That's going to be when they finally show everything else that they've been just teasing us about in little tiny bits. It's like yes, you're going on summer vacation, but we haven't given you all the details yet.
Yeah,
but it's been good. Like, we've actually I've been enjoying other games because our quote unquote main game is letting us take a break. So it's been nice. Unless you're really into Fall Guys, then you've been hitting that as hard as possible.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, that's been somewhat popular. But other than that, enjoy time in other games.
Excellent. And in STO news, STO's winter event is starting this Thursday, which is December 7th. A day that will live in infamy.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. This year, the grand prize is a Tamaran cruiser with an interesting trait. FAR will be covering the winter. A Fleet Action Report will be covering the winter event on Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern. The AIE fleet has completed all holdings on the Federation side. This unlocks several special ships and items for the fleet. The KDF fleet is still working on all its holdings and can use the extra support for marks, dilithium, and other requirements. Monday night's Fleet Action Report runs a fun night that is dedicated to the players. This is the night to check them out and join in the fun. They can help you level, get through events and tough missions, or answer questions. It's also live streamed on Twitch.
See you out there. All right, and in Lord of the Rings Online news, Yule Festival starts this week, and Delving Missions rewards have been upgraded to level 150. I still can't believe they just went for it and said, yep, we're going to 150, deal with it. So that's always fun. But with that, let's get back to Stask and find out what is going on in SOTOR. I mean, there's news of patches and Life Day and hugging Wookiees and throwing snowballs.
Yeah, it's that time of year.
Yeah,
time to hug a rug.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
I am looking forward to that documentary. Let me tell you.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Exactly.
There's no shortage of stuff that's going on in SWTOR right now, and I think I was thinking about it today, and I think it bears mentioning that given all the stuff that's happened with the game this year, think of where we're at now with the game, given the studio change, some of the big swings they took with the Apex server and all that stuff.
Moving to
really,
cloud servers.
moving to the clouds, doing some of the work on the graphics updates. It's really remarkable where the game's at today at the end of the year, and there's been very minimal disruption to like the player experience so
That's
far
great.
this year. I think it's been amazing. So I just like, excuse me. Yeah, kudos to the team that's moved over to Broadsword from BioWare. I think they're doing a great job, and the future's looking pretty bright for the game.
Yep.
Yeah, Tuesday we got 7.4 is coming out. It's another big update with in more Mando story. What's going on with Hedda Cole and Shay Vizsla?
Oh man,
Heavy with Lane Vizsla.
that means I'm gonna have to play it because my main is a Mando.
Yes.
There you
There you
go.
go. There you go. They're calling for you, man.
Yep.
They need you. Yeah, we're going back to Ord Mantell. They've opened up a new zone there on the planet. It's a starter planet for the smuggler and the trooper. So it should be fun. It should be, I think it's called Kessen's Landing. I don't know if, I think that's what it sounds a lot like Kessel's Run. But
Yes.
I think it is Kessen's Landing. So world boss on Ord Mantell 2, a droid named FR3DOM.
Freedom.
There you go.
Very nice.
And we get a new datacron there on Ord Mantell 2. So
Oh, cool. They're actually still adding datacrons. That's nice.
yeah, from what I've heard too, it's similar to the one on Runuk that they gave us, where there's going to be it's not just a find the spot and
Right.
get the datacron. It's going to be a mission chain. to get
Oh, that's
there.
sweet.
So,
I like that. That's fun. I mean, I like the discovery of the ones like on the starter planets and stuff, but having a story link to it, that's awesome.
yeah, I think that's a cool new way to do it. I think we tried it last week on MFN to get there, and I think they made it so you can't just get one person there and summon to it.
Right.
So everybody's got to kind of go through it to get the instance.
Yeah, no cheesing the datacron. You hear that, Heather?
Yeah.
Cheesy datacrons.
Yeah.
I think they should put some cheese instead of a datacron. in one of the
There you go. Datacron or cheese.
Yeah.
Sounds like a food waiting to happen.
Exactly.
Right.
Does. Well,
You
they-
could
they
have you
do
could have
actually-
blue cheese for the good ones, and then you could have like I don't know what devil's food for the red ones.
Someone needs.
Right.
Someone needs to tell
cheese.
this. Someone needs to tell this to Galaxy's Edge, because that would be like a great charcuterie board.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, have it at the cantina.
There you go. There you go. Well, the problem if you hide datacron or cheese at Galaxy's Edge, you run the risk of nobody finding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Florida heat for a while.
Well,
I
no,
think
over in California, you're good.
well, Disney would
Oh,
also be
yeah,
upset
there
if
you
you had to parkour to get to it too. So I think
Very much.
Right. So yeah, that's what we got for the story. It's gonna follow. I think the Mando group is called the Hidden Chain, and then we got gearing changes too, which will be interesting. So we're moving away from the R4 gear being the top tier gear. It's gonna be Ricotta. That'll be time is a flat circle, right? Ricotta is gonna be capped at 344. The PvP gear is capped at 336, and everything else will be 340, which includes Conquest gear for all you people that are chasing top tier gear.
And for anyone coming to WoW, looking at that going, well, it's only, like 8 numbers or 4 numbers. In SOTOR, that is a significant bump. Like the difference between those sets is is like the difference between normal and heroic in WoW or, a Mythic Plus upgrade. It still my
That's a great
brain
reminder.
coming from WoW, my brain still has a hard time going. But it's only like 6 item levels higher. How much better can it be? And you're like, oh, it is that much better.
Yeah, it's a noticeable difference. That stuff. So
Awesome.
yeah, some of the other nuts and bolts of it, the hide and seek vendors that sell the pieces for the shells are going to be capped at 340 also, which kind of makes them a little bit less relevant. And
So instead of buying all the pieces for the shells and being able to get to the 344, you have to actually go do the operations and get the 344 tokens to turn in and get the 344 pieces, in other words?
right, I think how it's going to go is you want to get a ricotta piece to begin with, and then you just upgrade that
Okay.
using the OP ones. So the
Gotcha.
OP ones you would still have to run operations, but it won't necessarily have to be R4.
Gotcha.
Yeah, OP ones are the premium currency right now, and everybody's been saving those up, and I'm pretty close to capped. I think I'm only like 50 shy of the cap, so I'm ready to blow them all.
You're ready to
Tuesday
spend.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going with a fat stack of chips to the casino. And just,
There you go.
dumping them all off. So
It's going to make it rain in armor. All right.
yeah, just give me my upgrades. So, but some of the other stuff they're doing with this, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but they're introducing new die packs.
Yes, I
Utilizing
have.
the
Great.
specularity.
Yeah, Ted's been
Holy
showing me
crap.
that. That's pretty.
They look amazing. They have 3 different finishes on them: the pearlescent, the metallic, and the matte. And it all
Nice.
deals with how they reflect the light. Man, they are.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a real end game of Space Barbie, right?
Hey, let's face it, guys. Sometimes any MMO is just a really, really expensive doll maker that you have a
Yeah.
subscription to. I'm sorry, it's the truth.
No. If you
Very
don't
true.
look good, you don't DPS well. It's just a
Right?
fact.
Right.
It's a fact.
Right.
Paula looked really good, and she didn't DPS well though.
No, that's a
Oh, that
different
was
matter.
a player. Never mind. That was a.
But you look good
that
doing
player.
it. That's the thing.
She did.
Yes,
She did.
right?
Yes.
It's all about the drip, as the kids say.
Oh, we are
Yep.
too old for that.
Well, I am too, but that doesn't stop me.
That's right.
My
What's-
daughter loves it when I use the
The slang.
lingo.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
No cap, on God.
Exactly.
So what is this evil note I see about no more implant drops? My
Yeah.
cyborg is offended.
Right. So the implants would drop from operations you get, like from story mode operations. Let's say you'd get the T&E's implants, but they're just junk basically, because the implants you wanted are legendary implants, which have no bearing on the drops or whatever. So they're taking the implants out of the drops, and I think out of the crates too. I read as well, like the crates you get for running stuff. And
Is that so more things can get in their place, or
right. So you don't waste that drop slot on an implant.
Ah.
Yeah, they're basically removing a
makes
junk
sense.
drop and letting you get it elsewhere. I had the same question. I'm like, why would you do that? And then Seema's like, no, they're just taking it off the loot table so that you get other stuff. I'm like, oh, that makes
makes
sense.
sense? Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they've got the numbers, like, my time behind the scenes, like they have the numbers knowing what players are doing with what pieces of gear. So they probably just saw in one of the reports, like, everyone immediately vendors these things. Why is it in here? And
Right.
easy to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Right, and we have a vendor for the legendary implants too. So, and once that's pretty much the first piece you would get to maxed out with the mechanic they have. So it's like
Interesting.
once you've got your best in slot from the implants, why do you need an implant from anywhere else?
True.
That's
Which is great. I mean, they're listening to us and they're paying attention, and
That is
they're
great.
making the experience better for us. So.
it is amazing what you can do with good data analytics. I know it sounds boring, but it is very useful for MMOs.
Right.
Yeah, and as Max says, you purchase the legendary implant so you get the sets you want. Because that's right, because Star Wars, for those coming over from WoW or other games, Star Wars removed the concept of a tier set or a operation set, and it's all in the legendary implant. So if you want the effect of having the 2-piece or 4-piece like WoW tier set, it's contained in the implant. So now you can say, oh, I want this effect in the implant, if I remember that correctly.
Huh.
So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's another remarkable improvement to the game.
Yeah.
And like I said, the OP1s now are the premium currency, and they've added OP1s to drop from Master Mode chapters from Kotfi and Kotet. So if you still need friends to do Master Mode chapter,
Yes.
but if you don't have 7 friends to
Right.
run an operation, you can get 1 or 2 of them, and you can probably get through those with some companions.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I remember trying to solo a couple, even having like max gear at the time. You go back and try and solo one of those master mode chapters, and like on some of those, just the normal chapter, like if you're not careful, you're like, why am I? Oh, yeah, the guards kicked my butt again. Okay, fine. So,
Right. And
yeah.
you have to manage your companion at the same time while you're trying to do stuff too in some of those fights.
Yeah,
That's not easy.
No.
So it can be a lot. It can be
Yeah.
a lot. Some of those. Yeah. So that's big news from 7.4. What was it? I think it was before Thanksgiving. They announced the opening of the Apex server too, which has been another pretty awesome thing in the game.
That makes Zen happy.
Yeah, right. A little bit less lag, but it's in Sydney, so the Asia Pacific region has a home server basically where they don't have to deal with the latency.
Oh yeah.
And there's about a dozen of us from AIE that have hopped over there and found a home, created a guild over there, trying it out, and it's been really interesting because it's basically a fresh start server.
Hmm.
They're not allowing transfers to the server, so the economy
Ooh,
is
neat.
like 2012 levels. It is fantastic.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Seema or Max mentioned it on the latest podcast, but I think they're actually looking at this like, what does an economy look like on a current SOTOR server if we don't have all the inflationary stuff from before? And so now
Right.
you're like, can I actually buy something and afford it while leveling up or, at max level? How does the economy respond with having to pay credits for a fast travel point or things like that? So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, no one has all the gold, so they can't charge you all the gold because they don't
Correct.
have all the gold. So
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. There was something listed on the GTN today. I think it was an armor set for $500 million. I think it was 500 million credits. And I was like,
Jeez.
who's going to buy that? Nobody's got even like 15 million credits to spend.
Yeah.
And then there were also a whole bunch of armor sets for less than 100,000, which was crazy to see on the GTN.
Right, because that same armor set on a live server on another server, would be going for the $500 million or
Right. I mean, I think armor sets start at like 20 million on Starforge.
Yeah.
Just even for like the bronze level basic ones from 10 years ago. So
yeah.
it's wild. It's a wild experience. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. I think I've heard nothing but positive returns early from all the people over there. I Seema mentioned this on their podcast the other day. It's stuff that's just so baked into your experience on Starforge.
Right.
There's like half a dozen steps between that you just take for granted,
Like the guild ship, like the heroic moment.
Yep. The guild ship, the heroic moment. If you have the heroic moment, you don't have the abilities that go with each class, the dirty kick and that stuff, or even crafting.
Right.
I found my character, I'm a biochem. I had to stop sending my companions out for crew skills because I've got like 15,000 credits, and I was like, I need this for quick travel. I need this for other stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't just go to my legacy bank and pull out another 100 million,
Right.
Right. That does make a little different of a challenge rating there.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun though. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of 2012 when you're still leveling your legacy and all that stuff. So
yeah, it's almost a way of getting getting Star Wars Classic back because
There you go.
because you are essentially starting over, but you've got all the content in front of you. So
Yeah.
Right, right, and you know how it goes. So it's for me, I've done a lot of like knowing what I know now. What would I do differently at the beginning,
Yeah.
or how would
Right,
I
right.
figure this stuff out? So it's a lot of fun, and everybody's more than welcome to join us. We have a guild on the pub side and the imp side. Um, our our guild on the pub side is called We Care About Everything.
Nice.
And then on the imp side, like if you spent 5 minutes with me, you probably heard at least 3 Big Lebowski references. So on the imp side is We Care About Nothing.
I was gonna say that's got to be the name.
it is.
Yeah.
Have you guys talked about doing any MFNs over there, or had any thoughts about that, or still in
Sure.
progress because since it's still growing?
Yeah, there's been mention of it. There's been some light talk, but with the time difference, we're not sure what would.
Yeah, true.
Really, we'd like to line stuff up with Zen, find a time where he can fully participate. Not be.
He still
busy
won't
with
have his
his-
ship, but it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's the same as Starforge, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So, yeah, we've talked right now. Actually, we're so new over there. Most of our members don't have access to the guild bank because they've put in a new 30-day lockout once you join the guild.
Yeah.
To be able to access the guild bank. That was part of their inflation combating stuff. They added taxes, and people's workaround was to just use the guild bank to trade things. So to prevent people from just joining guilds, using the guild bank, and then leaving the guild, they put the lockout on there. So
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, well, I can't speak for I'm having a blast over there. It's a lot of fun on the Shea Vizsla server. And everybody just pop in our Discord and ask for an invite if you want to go over there and try it out. We'll get you in. And not a whole lot we can do for you as a guild, but whatever we can do, we will.
More support,
Yeah.
Everyone in misery loves company, as they say.
Because without
Right.
the guild ship, you don't even have guild buffs, do you?
No guild buffs, no summons, no
Right. Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. So it is like going back to classic SOTOR, which is cool. I mean, that's awesome.
Guild and name only.
Yeah.
Right. You get the cool tag above your head that says "We care
Yeah.
about everything."
And the
Or
guild
we care
chat.
about nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
guild chat
there is
too.
that. Yeah, you get an extra chat channel. Yay!
Yeah. So, but it's nice to have other people over there that are doing stuff. So
I wonder
times
if watching how this happens, and since they've got cloud server capability now, I wonder if they're going to look at doing something like EverQuest has been doing, or WoW with Classic, if they're going to start out with a like a SOTOR Classic 1 to 50 original server, and then now we've unlocked the what was the first expansion was the Hut expansion, and then go on to Revan, Shadows of Revan. That would be an interesting experiment if they would say, that way everyone's not rushing to get through all the expansions, but like they know once they hit 50 and gone through the content, that's it. Now they're dealing with what was available at level 50 for operations and stuff.
Black Hole and Section X and EV. Yeah, that'd be interesting, because we've talked, had a couple conversations with people about game at launch was, I don't think you got sprint until level 10.
Right.
You didn't get a speeder until level 25.
Yeah.
And some of that stuff, I mean, I look back at that with rose-colored glasses. It's kind of the golden days, but I don't know if I could go back to that.
Well,
Just be a bounty hunter and you have the boost.
Yeah, right. You get your jetpack. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a lot of that. I remember because the planets were built with that in mind. So you go back to Drummond Cause or some of the starter planets, and they're it's a smaller area, but it feels like there's more to explore because you're not just hopping on a mount and running to the next quest area or stuff like that. There's actually things to look at along the way. That's why I always like the beginning levels where you're not in a hurry to just move point
Right.
to point. It lets the game breathe a little bit more. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you couldn't back then. Because right now you have all the taxi points unlocked on a planet, but back then you actually had to
Go
to the
visit all of
zone,
them. Yeah.
Hmm.
you had to
Yeah, I
visit
remember
them
Absolutely.
on foot, and you had to actually walk up to the quick travel terminal and click
I
it
still do
to
that.
unlock that.
I still do that. If
Yeah.
if I
Yeah,
walk
let's have
into
it.
an area and I see one, I click on it.
You're right. Click it.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, and then there was the times where you get in a zone, you pick up all the quests, and then you go out and do the quests, and you get far away from the town, basically,
Uh-huh. Oh, yep.
and
Yep.
you'd forget to click the quick travel terminal, so you'd have to
Yeah.
walk all the way back.
I
to
remember-
that was
I remember that.
Yep.
struggle with real for sure. So it's fun. I like I said, I'm enjoying it. It's a whole, and the whole community over there seems a lot. Everybody's basically on the same level too, so there's a lot more camaraderie, I guess, or at least less toxicity that I've noticed. So
Well, and the other nice thing is you have the new tag system in place, so it's not, hey, I shot that thing first and now you're locked out of it. It's now you get a quest mob that's a rare on a timer or something like that. Everyone can tag in and do it. So that, I'm sure that helps as well, because that's always the tension in some of those lower level zones is everyone has a quest and it ends in one quest giver that's on a rare timer. And so there's like a queue of people or forced grouping that everyone gets together, kills the mob, and then gets out. You know, now since everyone can tag it, you just get a group of people around waiting for the mob to spawn, then everyone just one shot in, and it's all good.
right, yeah, a lot less competition with the multi-tagging for sure.
Yeah, that and oceanic servers tend to be smaller anyway, so like you can't afford to be toxic because people remember you.
Exactly.
Right,
That is very
Write your
true,
name
yeah.
down. Yeah.
You don't want someone to give you, to have that reputation.
Mhm.
That's for sure.
All right.
Yeah, and then back on Starforge, I don't want to leave out. We've been really active doing our MFNs. We just did Datacrons last week. This Tuesday we're gonna have God knows what to do with 7.4. We've got PvP. Got a wonderful group of PvPers that runs every Wednesday night.
Hmm.
We've gone back to a rotating Friday schedule. Every Friday of the month, we have first Friday is Master Mode Flashpoints, second Friday is GSF, third Friday is Chivos, where we're going through Planetary Heroics and getting a title that comes along with that. And then we do GSF again on the fourth Friday. And we also try to keep it a little bit fluid in case the season's objective comes up that people might need help with. We try to be able to pivot to do that to help
Pivot.
people out. So
Awesome.
it's a good time to be in SWTOR right now.
Yeah. What's
Game
going
is
to be
very
interesting
much alive.
with the Life Day holiday coming up and the snowball throwing and the Wookiee hugging, that's on Nar Shaddaa, which is like, what, the third... Is that like the third or fourth planet you go to in your storyline?
It's on the pub side you go starter planet, Coruscant, and then you can either go to Terrace or Nar Shaddaa. So
Yeah.
it's third or fourth, yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how long those overheated robots are going to stay up with everyone not... Even though it was level capped and you sink down to the planet level without all the heroic moments and everything else, it'd be interesting to see how long those overheated robots stay up.
Oh, on Shea Vizsla? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to get over there for that,
Yeah, that might
yeah.
be an event worth doing. So
right? I think there's a couple people that make decisions in the chat room, so maybe they can.
we know people. We'll
There you go.
discuss
We know
amongst
people.
ourselves. All right.
Yeah. Maxim.
Yeah, but Life Day is December 12th too, and if you've never been a part of Life Day, that's quite the thing. You get to chuck snowballs at your friends and overheated droids and hug Wookiees.
Yep.
I think
All right then.
Max knows the exact number that you have to hug. I think it's up to about 85,000 Wookiees.
Yeah,
that you
because
need
it
to hug.
grows every year. It's crazy.
Oh
Right.
my. That's a lot of rug hugging,
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah. Bring your lint roller.
right?
And you got to make sure you've got the holiday special in the background.
Exactly.
God,
There
no.
you go.
No. No.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, that will be our show for tonight while the chat room begins suggesting show titles. Thank you, Stask, so much for joining us. It was nice to have you on the show and get some new voices on here. We love having new people on. If people want to find you online other than the Discord, where can they find you?
Well, yeah, I'm in the Discord. I'm usually around, and also I recently started streaming.
Oh, awesome.
So I stream games. Yeah, a couple weeks ago I started trying it out, and I'm enjoying it. I don't have a set schedule just yet, but I tend to do Sunday mornings. It's one block of time I usually have free. So if you want to see me stream SWTOR, come on in. It's twitch.tv/Stask27. Nice laid back thing, and I think I'm obligated to say, come on in. If you like it, smash the follow button.
That's
There
right.
you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And Sunday mornings, so that's prime coffee and contemplation time. So you just put it
There
on
we
the
go.
background and watch. Yep.
Yep. Watch me play games
All right.
badly.
All right. If you have a question or comment about our show, just one. Because there used to be questions, but now it's just a question. You have that limit.
Yeah. There's a limit. Yeah,
just too many
absolutely.
coming in, But
Yeah.
but if you do have one, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can find us, of course, on the AIE Discord and all of the usual Twitter, social media stuff that is not Twitter, because it's not Twitter anymore. It's some weird X thing. I don't know. It's weird. But we do record live with video every other Sunday, except, we're going to be off for like a month.
Yep.
Something like that. Yeah. But when we are doing it, it is Sundays at around 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and then, Arizona doesn't move, so...
No, we don't.
But the world does around them. You can join the chat room and play along with us at our website, aie-guild.org. There's a podcast button up there somewhere, but it's the podcast live stream. You can also just look for us in Discord. We have a nice little AIE-podcast channel that everyone's chatting it up in there right now. So again, you can go to the AIE-guild.org website and actually see the Discord link up there. If you ever want to see some of the past episodes and see what weird things we talk about, especially when you leave us alone and don't give us a guest to talk to, we have to talk to ourselves, and it just goes on and on and on.
Yep. Some of our longest episodes, us just talking to ourselves.
Yeah, but you can find us at the AIE Podcast on YouTube. If you're curious about the lovely theme, it is composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. He is at Keys with Soul on the various social medias, and he has a website, andrewallenmusic.com.
All right. And no segments this week, but if you want to try your hand in the new year creating some short segments, we say 90 to 120 seconds?
Yep.
Approximately. We would absolutely love to have you. Mew knows a little bit about creating segments. He used to do our Raid Wrap-Up and Altitis. So I bet you he'd be around if you wanted to pick his brain, too.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you for a great year. We will see you January 7th, 2024. That's the first Sunday in January. So until then, AIE.
This is Stask.
This is Tetsemi.
This is Mukau.
This is Makala.
And this has been the AIE Podcast.
Woohoo!
Yay! Done for the year. All right.
Yep.
Nice.
I gotta say,
I'll go on vacation.
January 7th, but if our decorations aren't picked up by then, I might be panicking and worrying
Well, that's why
spending
Saturday's the
I'm
6th, and they'll be down by the 6th.
Perfect. Yes.
So,
People don't know this, but I'm really superstitious. Decorations have to be completely packed away by the 12th night, or I get very, very nervous.
well, that's, people, they know the song 12 Days of Christmas, but they don't realize when the 12 Days of
starts-
Christmas actually
Which
happen.
is Christmas Eve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, for the 12 Days of Christmas, do you realize that all 12 days worth of presents are actually birds?
Yep.
Every single
Oh.
gift in the 12 Days of
Birds
Christmas
are
is a different type of
About that.
bird. Yes.
Here's the golden rings.
Yes,
5
that's
golden rings.
yes, that is a I believe it's a type of pheasant.
Maids of milking.
Yep, that is Birds of the 12 Days of Christmas. Here it is. So just on our way out, partridge in a pear tree. Second day Christmas, 2 turtle doves, 3 French hens, 4 calling birds, and then 5 golden rings. This is it's a common ring-necked pheasant, and so it has a ring around its neck, and that's what it is. You get the 6 geese a laying, 7 songs of swimming, and then the rest of the song. Yeah, so it just goes through. I'm not gonna go through them all, but yeah, it's like you end up with like 300,000 birds, but not 300,000, but you end up with a lot of
Well,
birds by the end.
evidently it's a recipe.
So,
Yeah.
yep. All
It's
right,
a lot of birds.
exactly. Oh, I like that.
Just
All right.
And Max has a show
So-
title, Stas delivers the SOTOR 411 on episode 413. See, it was 2 episodes off.
We,
So
we
close,
tried to
so
have
close.
you.
It
We
was
tried
supposed
to
to be
have you
2
on earlier,
episodes
though.
ago, right?
We
right.
did, yeah. So,
Ugh.
all right. Cool. Well, thank you, showroom. Damn.
Wow, hi.
It's time to end everything. Yeah. Thank
Words
you.
are hard.
Thank
Yes.
you, Showroom, for joining the cat.
Exactly. Thank you,
There
chat
we
room.
go.
We will see you folks in a month and a little bit more. Stas, thank you again for joining us. I'm going to go
Thanks for
ahead
having
and
me.
cut the stream.